It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet, two outstanding middle schools, are vying for the chance to become the first of our 4 middle school semifinalists. Let's meet them right now. First, from Benjamin Tasker Middle School in Bowie, would you please say hello to Victor Roseman, Nicholas Schumar, and Ezekiel Rockmus. And from Samuel Ogle Middle School, here they are, Bradley Lineski, Essian Taylor, and Samantha Smith. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's science potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our questions are arranged according to question difficulty. Easier questions worth 5 and 10 points. Tougher ones, 15, 20, ultimately 25, toughest of them all. Both teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 very talented teams will come back to play our game again in the semifinals. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go over and check the buzzers. And Nicholas, would you try yours for me? Thank you. Looks like it's working fine. Good luck to you, to Victor and Ezekiel and Essian. Green one looks ready to go too. Good luck to you, Samantha and Bradley. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And congratulations on making it to this part of our competition. Great teams. Whatever you did before, keep doing it right now. We go alphabetically, B before S, so Benjamin Tasker and Nicholas, let's start the bowl.
Let's get physical for 5 points.
Physical for 5 points. Teams, Alpha Centauri B is part of a triple star system that is the sun's nearest neighbor. It's only 4.4 of these units away from the sun. Samuel Ogle.
Light years.
Light years, that's right. Mine can't even wrap around how far that is. Go green.
Let's get physical for 15.
Get physical for 15 points. A visual question. Could you look at the monitor, please? And you're going to see different colors there, because every chemical burns a different color when it is burned when using what instrument? Name that, Samuel Ogle.
Bunsen burner. The Bunsen burner?
It is indeed a Bunsen burner. Thank you for the assist of Samantha and Bradley on that. Go, Essian.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, a multiple choice question for you. The new sunblocks are designed to protect against UVA and UVB rays because, especially among young people, there is an epidemic of melanism, melanoma, or melanine. Yes. Nicholas.
Melanoma.
Melanoma, a form of skin cancer, a deadly form of skin cancer. Absolutely right, young man. Go. Red.
Let's get physical for 10 points.
Get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. The airbags in cars used to be filled with compressed air. Now the gas inside is the same gas that is paired with oxygen in a dentist's office to make laughing gas. Name that element. Nicholas.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, indeed. Nitrous oxide. Good. Red. Go.
Body systems for 5.
Why not? Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, Mike, along with some of the other monsters at Monsters University, could be described as Cyclopsian because they have just...
One eye.
Samuel Ogle?
One eye. They have one eye.
They just have one eye, like the famous Greek Cyclops. Good. Good listening skills. Go green. Slight lead, 80 to 75. Advantage green.
For 10. Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, Mars is going to be one of the planets that NASA visits in the near future, and they're going to be making food out of component parts like water and protein to turn out chocolate and pizza using what kind of printer aboard? Benjamin Tasker?
A 3D printer.
A 3D printer. Amazing the things that they are now able to generate. I don't know how edible or tasty it's going to be, but they're trying, just like the replicator on Star Trek did. Thank you, judges, for indulging me on that. Go Red.
All right then. Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, the temperature at which paper burns is part of the title of Ray Bradbury's famous science fiction novel, 451, on what scale? Benjamin Tasker?
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit 451, the temperature which paper burns. Yes, good. Red, go. 90 to 80. Red lead, 95 to 80.
Green
Go.
things for 5. Green things for 5 points.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, the vined plants that cover the walls of Harvard and Yale and Princeton are why we say they belong to what league? Samuel Ogle.
The Ivy League.
The Ivy League, that's right. You go to the Ivies. Go, green. Good answer.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, if the boys that were stranded on the desert island in the book Lord of the Flies had also been studying monarchs and viceroys and swallowtails, you might have called the story The Lord of what? Samuel Ogle?
Yeah.
The Birds.
Not the Birds, good try. Instead of Lord of the Flies, if those boys were studying monarchs and viceroys and swallowtails, it would be Lord of the what?
Butterflies?
Butterflies, absolutely right. They're all different kinds of butterflies. Ezekiel says, yes. All right, good answer. Young man, you're at the century mark. Go.
Zoo Parade for 15? 15 points.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, what same word means teaching falcons and other birds of prey how to fly and breaking into a computer illegally? Samuel Ogle.
Hacking.
Hacking is absolutely right. Thank you, Samantha, for your assist on that. Good answer. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, the man who invented the first zip line did so to connect the tops of trees. Areas known by what C initialed name? Benjamin Tasker.
Canopy.
Canopies. That's exactly right. Thanks, Ezekiel and Victor, for helping Nick. Go. Oh, hold that thought. When we come back, you'll have the first chance at the next question. Our score, Benjamin Tasker 125, Samuel Ogle 100. A nail biter. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Science Bowl.
It takes more than perfect balance.
More than a great pair of legs.
More than a good sword.
It takes more than just talent.
More than the will to win.
It takes you.
It takes your donations to support the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic teams. And now you can donate on Facebook.
He's done it! The U.S. has done it!
Support the U.S. Olympic team on Facebook and donate to make Olympic dreams come true.
Hello, I'm Tom Selleck. In every generation, men and women have come forward to fight for freedom and defend our liberty. Over 58,000 of them are named on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Join me in supporting a new campaign to build an education center near the wall to tell their stories and teach about the values of those who have served in the past and who serve today. Learn how you can help. Thank you.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. We expected a tight game, and that's exactly what they're getting. Both of these teams were here before in our season, and today they're battling out to see which one moves on in the competition to be the first of our 4 semifinalists in the middle school competition. Let's go to Benjamin Tasker. And one of our judges who works at Bel Air Mansion says this is kind of the Bel Air battle here, because Samuel Ogle and Benjamin Tasker, both big personalities in Maryland history. Samuel Ogle being, of course, a former governor, and Benjamin Tasker living at Bel Air. Built it? He built Bel Air Mansion. That's just wonderful. So we get a little history here along with our science. Benjamin Tasker, tell us about your school. What do you like about Tasker? What is it you like to brag about?
Probably what we like to brag about would most likely be some of the teachers. Most of the teachers there are friendly, and unlike some, they actually don't really yell or anything, and they'll actually correct you if you're wrong instead of just saying you're wrong and moving on, and they take their time to explain what you did wrong and how you can improve on it.
Wait, that's a very nice statement. So they respect you as people, and you respect them back for that. And that's the key. And boy, you can't get anything better at a school. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate you telling us that. Who's your principal?
Our principal right now is Miss Johnson.
Miss Johnson is out there. And Mr. Reynolds is your sponsor, and he will be out in a few moments. And I know you have a number of alternates that will meet in a few moments here. And Nicholas, someday, what do you hope to do?
I hope to be a chemical engineer.
Yeah, and we were talking about possibly going up to Pittsburgh at Carnegie Mellon, which is one of the premier engineering schools in this country. They'd be lucky to get you. Ezekiel, nice to have you with us. Tell us your story. What do you like to do in your spare time?
What do I like to do? I am a big fan of reading science fiction books and playing science fiction video games.
Wow. Do you have a favorite author, science fiction author?
It's between Michael Crichton and Douglas Adams.
Wow, both good. I also like Isaac Asimov, great writer too.
Oh, yes.
And this young man comes from a family with a history of being a psychiatrist, right? Psychiatry, very good. And I know you would like to follow in their footsteps. And Victor is tapping Ezekiel. What do you want to tell us, Victor?
If he'd like to borrow my iRobot by Isaac Asimov.
Great, absolutely. It's a great recommendation. Ezekiel, take him up on that. Will Smith was in that movie, wasn't he? iRobot.
Yes.
Yes. And Victor, I know your dad is a source of great inspiration to you because of his fraternal organizations that he belonged to, and his profession, both, right?
Right.
Yeah. And what does your dad do?
He works in IT for a company called Media Cybernetics.
Yes.
That deals with imaging software for biotech engineers.
Wonderful. And you'd like to do something similar to that when you get older?
Right.
Yeah. You're a great player, Victor, and it's so good to have you back. All three of you guys, just super. Keep up your work in the second half. Samuel Ogle, good to have you guys back again. Also a Bowie School. Isian, tell us about Samuel Ogle. I was asking Nicholas about Tasker. What is it about Ogle that you just kind of puff out your chest and say, boy, I'm glad I'm a student there?
Well, like Benjamin Tasker, we also have great teachers who really care about teaching us and want to help us learn.
And one of the best is your sponsor, Miss Maxwell, who's been there for 13 years, and I know a number of teachers have been there a long time. Mr. Covington is your principal there, and you had alternates on your team?
Yes.
Yes,
one alternate is Brandon.
We'll meet the alternate in a moment. Because Samantha was an alternate. Now she's on set. We're happy to have her here. And Isian, before I leave you, tell me about your plans for the future. I know science is in there somewhere.
Yeah. I really don't know what I want to do, just something in the field of science.
Listen, there's no rush. Sometimes you don't know what you want to be when you grow up until you get well into the grown-up years. So just take your time. Something will be an epiphany and strike your fancy there. You're a good player. Bradley, nice to have you back. Young man who has been on our show before as an elementary school student. And you like this show because you like the competition, yeah? Are you into sports at all?
I'm into sports.
Like what?
Baseball.
Baseball. So you're used to competition, you know? Bottom of the ninth, you're down, you can still do it, right? Tell me what you see yourself doing in the future.
I want to be a pediatric cardiac surgeon.
Yeah, and this young man has visited Johns Hopkins and seen the kind of great work they do with children and adults up there. A hospital that seems to be purely interested in the welfare of the patients, not so much maybe in earning money, huh?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's my opinion of Johns Hopkins.
Yeah,
it's also a really good hospital.
It's a great hospital. It's a teaching hospital, too, and I can see you fitting in there. And Samantha, welcome to the program. This young lady has a number of aspirations, including archaeology, yeah?
Yes, I love history, and I would love to be a part of finding it or discovering it.
Absolutely right, because all the history is not known. It's like science. There are a lot of things to discover.
Definitely not. I'd be a very long time before we ever find everything that we've done.
And I know your dad is an engineer, and you two are interested in engineering, so
yes.
You've got a great role model there. You're a good student, and you're playing a great game. Keep it up. Let's get back. You're welcome. Let's get back to our game. 125 for Tasker, 100 for Ogle. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came to the red team. Nicholas, front and center. Let's get back at it. Go.
Green things for 10 points.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, just as human skin ages, so too does this skin on the outside of a tree. Samuel Ogle.
Bark.
The bark, yeah, the bark changes in texture and color as the tree ages. I thought you were going to break the equipment. Everybody jumped at that one. Everybody knew it. Go green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, what famed neurosurgeon at Johns... Samuel Ogle.
Ben Carson.
Is there any other famed neurosurgeon? Absolutely right. Gifted Hands was his book, and of course Bradley knows all about that. He's a Hopkins soon-to-be student. Go green. With that question, you vault into the lead by 5 points. 130, 125, Esian.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, way back when, Dolly was the first cloned animal. She was a sheep. Samuel Ogle.
We don't know.
Okay. Benjamin Tasker, but in 2001, scientists cloned an animal. They named it Noah. It was a gar, which is like a buffalo-cow mix. The interesting thing is, a gar is an animal on what list of rarities? What list would you find an animal like a gar? First animal cloned that was on what list?
Endangered species.
Indeed, endangered species list. That's what we're after. Go red. Thank you, Ezekiel. 135, 130. Go. Yes, sir.
Let's do Zoo Parade for 5 points.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, if there's a bully at school and you find out he ain't as tough as he thinks he is, you would call him a paper version of this striped feline. Samuel Ogle.
Tiger.
A paper tiger, that's right. Lots of bluster, nothing behind it. Go green. Thank you, Samantha.
Physical for 20. Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, the Chrysler Corporation has named a number of cars after clouds. You can buy a Dodge Stratus, you can buy a Dodge Cirrus, but you can't buy a Dodge that's named Samuel Ogle.
Nimbus.
No, not Nimbus. Benjamin Tasker, I was about to finish. You can buy a Dodge Stratus and a Dodge Cirrus, but you cannot buy a Dodge named for these puffy white clouds.
Cumulus?
Cumulus, yeah. What do you drive? I drive a Cumulus. Sounds kind of wussy, doesn't it, huh? The other ones have a little more sex appeal. Okay, go red.
Want to buy systems for 5?
Yes, sir.
Let's do Biosystems for 5 points.
Body Systems for 5 points. Teams, Mary Roach's new book, Gulp, is a journey down which of your body systems? Tasker?
Esophagus.
More.
The digestive system?
Digestive system. Yeah, keep on going. Exactly right. Thanks, Victor, for helping out there. Go red.
Want to do green things for 20? Green
yes,
things
please?
for 20 points.
Again?
Green things for 20 points.
Green things for 20 points. Teams in San Francisco, they don't know who's doing it, but someone under the cover of night is taking branches of fruit trees and splicing them onto the branches of ornamental trees. That is what G initial process that makes that happen. Ogle. What's the G initial term to describe that operation?
Gene splicing.
Not gene splicing. Good try. What is the G initial term if you take a branch from one kind of tree, like a fruit tree, and join it to the branch of another ornamental tree?
Grafting?
Grafting. That's exactly right. Go red.
Let's see. Zoo Parade for 20? Yes. Zoo Parade for 20 points?
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, multiple choice question. Teams, if you got an upset and you don't have any antacids, if there are some oyster shells nearby, you could actually grind them up and swallow those Because both oyster shells and antacid tablets contain calcium hydroxide, calcium chloride,
calcium carbonate.
Samuel Ogle?
Calcium carbonate.
You got it, the one I was about to say. Excellent. Go. Green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, this is interesting. Malaria parasites eat the hemoglobin in your blood, which is why you can use a magnet to tell whether or not you've got malaria parasites, because the parasites are full of this.
Iron.
Samuel Ogle?
Iron.
Iron, yes, there is iron in there, and you can detect it with that magnet. Go. 165, 180, 175. It's going almost a tie score. 180, 175. Go green.
Dateline for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams back in 1993, Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist, came up with this service on the internet that he originally called Mesh instead of what we know it as today. Benjamin Tasker. Yes, sir.
What? Word?
Not Word, no. Tim Berners-Lee, this service on the internet, he originally came up with it, he called it Mesh. We know it today as what?
Email.
World Wide Web. The web. Meshing well. Oh, comes the dawn over there. Okay. Try again, green.
I don't know.
Dateline for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Multiple choice, visual question. Look at the monitor, please. Recently, a book was written called Brilliant Blunders, and Charles Darwin thought that when parents passed along genes, they blended. He never had heard of this man who worked with peas. Nicholas, who is he?
Oh.
Who'd you think?
Who? Nicholas Peden.
Again?
Nicholas Peden.
No. Samuel Ogle. Darwin thought traits blended. He had never heard of this man who worked with pea plants and showed that traits were passed on. They did not blend together. Who is that man? That is Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk, the father of genetics. Go green.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, are we right? Recently, the Maryland legislature passed a law saying that you cannot remove these from sharks, even though they are delicacies that people like to eat. Tasker?
Fins.
Fins, yes, you can't fin those sharks and throw them back to die a miserable death because they no longer have their fin. Go red. Yes, sir.
Science potpourri for 25 points.
Science potpourri for 25 points. If I told you that the vasculature of dinosaurs proves that they were warm-blooded, what am I talking about? What am I talking about, Ogle?
The blood vessels?
The blood vessels, absolutely. The size and the distribution of them. Good. Go green.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, cockroaches have outwitted us again. You can't bait traps with sugar anymore because a change occurred in their genes, and now sugar to a cockroach tastes this way. Tasker.
Disgusting?
Disgusting or bitter or sour. Yes, indeed. Go red. Yes,
okay.
sir.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade 25. Big one in that category. Teams, this Native American cat is variously called puma, panther, mountain lion, catamount. It does, though, for 25 points. Yes?
Cougar.
It is a cougar. That's the species I want to hear. Good. Go. Red. 4 questions left.
Want to do green things for 25?
Go.
Green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, the part of a hot pepper that contains the hot chemical capsaicin has what same name as the connection between a mammalian mother and her unborn baby? What same name? For 25 points, Tasker.
What? Umbilical?
No, not the umbilical. Samuel Ogle, what is that connection between mammalian mother and her unborn baby? It has the same name as the part of a pepper plant that contains the hot chemical.
Placenta.
Placenta is it. Good. Go. Green.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, if you are going into the hospital for intraocular surgery, what are they going to do to you? What are they going to do to you, Tasker?
Perform surgery on your eyes.
They're going to operate on your eyes. Absolutely right. Good. Go. 2 questions left.
I had a heart attack.
You had it done. Go, Nicholas.
Let's get physical for 25
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, Google now has hot air balloons up in the sky to provide Tasker? What do you want to tell me?
Weather data.
Not weather data. They're up there in the sky to provide Wi-Fi to remote areas. They are in the area of the atmosphere known as what layer?
Oh my.
What you think?
Thermosphere?
Stratosphere was the right answer. Last question of the game. Dateline for 25 points. Listen carefully. Teams, the man who saved more lives in the 20th century than anybody else was Dr. Maurice Hildman, who in 1963 came up with the vaccine for MMR. Give me two. Give me two.
Do you know anything?
MMR.
MMR.
Gentlemen.
Measles, smallpox.
Nope. MMR, a vaccine for 3 childhood diseases. Give me two and I'll give you 25 points.
Measles and mumps.
Measles, mumps. I've never heard measles, mumps. Let's guess that, please.
Measles and mumps.
And rubella. Exactly right for 25 points. That means our game is over. We will be right back. Don't you go anywhere.
Hello? Hello? I've been on the street for a while. I saw your poster outside. I don't know what to do.
National Runaway Switchboard, how can I help? Call 1-800-RUNAWAY to make the connection.
Welcome back to Science Bowl heart attack time for a lot of the sponsors and parents around here. Came down to the very last question that testifies to the talent of these teams. I don't want to see anybody go. Our final tally today is Benjamin Tasker 240, Samuel Ogle 250. Congratulations, Ogle. You are headed to the semifinals. Brad and Etienne and Samantha, Brandon and Miss Maxwell, and Benjamin Tasker, you could not have been a better team. Victor and Nicholas and Ezekiel and Aaron and Cole and Colin and Mr. Reynolds, thank you for one of the best games we've had in a long, long time. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.